Neon poles in the midnight air. Wires hum like they know you're there. Echoes ride through the circuit tide. We drift, we move, electrified. Waves through coated skies. Feel the spark behind your eyes. Lights blur, the rhythm flows. Locked in a charge that never slows. Oh, let the voltage glide. Oh, let the silence slide. Oh, ride the current wide. We glow, we glide. Neon pulse in the midnight air. Wires hum like they know you're there. Echoes ride through the circuit tide. We drift, we move, electrified. We're riding waves through coated skies. Feel the spark behind your eyes. Lights blur, the rhythm flows. Locked in a charge that never slows. Whoa, we glide. Let the voltage glide. Oh, let the silence slide. Oh, ride the current wide. We glow. We glow. We glide. We glow. We glide. We glide.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, 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 one and all. Welcome, one and all. You know, this is a conversation, this is a topic that I don't think will die anytime soon. And, after having such a beautiful conversation with a fellow brother of mine, it got me thinking more and more about this whole situation. And it made me think about the unknown Maresca versus Chelsea story as well. Because, we speak about Maresca. We speak about the fact that Maresca has won things at Chelsea. He's won 2 trophies currently. One being a highly acclaimed one. Another one being the C-tier competition in Europe or in UEFA bracket. So, with that being said, it makes me wonder, is there a unknown Maresca versus Chelsea story? Let us dissect all of this. And I'm going to start off with mentioning one of the biggest things that we have seen about the context of why he wants to be respected more by the owners, the sports directors, the support that he feels he's not getting in terms of signings. And of course, we know the biggest bomber that was released, the bombshell that was released by David Ornstein about him having that interest from a team that he was a part of not too long ago. He was the development squad coach initially, and then he became the assistant coach to Pep Guardiola in the year of 2022, and then of course leaving to go. Well, he was there for 2022, and then he left in 2023. So he was here for only a year, and then he became the Chelsea manager a year later in 2024. So it is very interesting, and it makes me wonder: are there some factors that Chelsea fans are not considering? I know a lot of Chelsea fans are quick to defend Maresca and say, "Oh, Maresca is the victim. Oh, Maresca is not getting backed." And because of all of this, I'm gonna share this first tweet, a tweet that I put out after taking some time to do some retrospection, some introspection as well. And it's about this. And you guys should be able to see it on the screen. It says, okay, it's behind me, so let me fix that immediately. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this thing now. This is after such a seamless sort of thing. Okay, perfect. This is it. Cool. So, okay, I don't like this layout. It's not working out, man. Anyways, let's use this one instead. Use this one instead. Perfect. This should be better. They should be better. You're supposed to be able to see the screen as well. So it says, if there are any victims, the owners are the victims, not Maresca. They told him up front that he was the head coach. That's the key word, head coach, not the manager. He knew the project and they were honest with their model. I don't excuse the weak recruitment in the transfer market, but kindly consider these points because he was not told that he is the manager. He was brought in as the head coach. Now, that is important because I'm going to share the similarities and the differences of a head coach and a manager, because this is the key difference between a manager and a head coach. So this is AI generated enough, and I believe that AI is not going to be wrong about this component. It's AI generated because it's AI overview, but doesn't matter. So based on what AI says here, it says in football, a manager has broad control over the entire club, handling transfers, contracts, scouting, and long-term strategy, while a head coach focuses narrowly, the important word is narrowly, on the team's on-pitch performance, tactics, training, and match day decisions. That part alone that's highlighted in the blue, as you can see, is the key component that we must consider, because he is not the manager. And we use that word loosely sometimes. We say the manager got it wrong. But the head coach, I think if we say the head coach is even better to use. So, continue. It is often a case where the head coach is reporting to a director of football. We know that we have sporting directors, so it's not just one. We have Paul Wood-Stanley, we have Lawrence Stewart, we have Joe Shields, who's also there as a recruitment part of the whole hierarchy of the owners, the ownership, and the whole infrastructure, the model of Blue Co. And then of the next part says the manager is the overall boss, while the head coach is a specialist in player development and game execution. Though the roles sometimes gets blurred, which is very important in modern football, where some managers act more like coaches. Definitely. So that is the first thing that we must discuss there, because it is important to consider. And big up to you, Blue Line Chelsea. Thank you for gifting that one Chelsea Sessions membership. I wonder who got it. I can't see it on StreamYard. So whoever got it, congratulations. Blue Line Chelsea has gifted a membership. Thank you very much for donating to the channel as well. It's greatly appreciated. So Let's go into this part because I said, and so I can have some ground to stand on. I'm gonna go to the official website, the report that they posted on June 3, 2024, when he was officially announced as a manager. So let me go to this. This is the official website. It's not a fabricated, it's not opinionated, it's the official website, chelseafc.com. It's not Chelsea channel, fanchannel.com. It's chelseafc.com. So you can see it. So it says Enzo Maresca to become Chelsea men's head coach, not manager, not Enzo Maresca to become Chelsea men's manager, Chelsea men's head coach. Very important thing to discuss. First and foremost, head coach, not manager. And it goes here. The first line below says this right here. The Chelsea football, no, not Chelsea, the Chelsea Football Club is delighted to announce the appointment of Enzo Maresca as new head coach of the men's team. Not Enzo Maresca as the manager of the men's team, as the new head coach. The head coach. And if you know, based on the words, head coach, if you're the head of anything, it means that you are the top of it. So you have other coaches, so you have the assistant coaches, you have the defensive coaches, whatever the case may be, but you're the head coach. So you decide on what the philosophy that they'll follow is, what the tactics are, what player development you're aiming to do at a certain point. All of that, you're the head coach. What you want to see on the pitch perspective, not off the pitch in terms of transfers and signing and recruitment. No, the only thing you're responsible for is player development. And I'm going to go to the interview that he had that took place in July when they officially had that interview. I'm not going to play the video because I don't want to be copyrighted, but I'm going to use the transcript that they released or the summary of what he said. Also on the website, not what people said, the website where it's exclusive. What they have said, what is being said from the manager specifically, not anything that is of course edited, nothing that can be split up and sliced, what he had to say. So you can see it here. They said Lauren Stewart and Paulie Stanley has said that we are delighted to welcome him, yada yada yada. He's an excellent coach, but whatever the case may be, and we know that that's what took place. Anyway, so that is that. As I said before, he is the head coach, not the manager. Important thing. So when I hear people say that, oh, they should have listened to him. No. And this is why I did the video that I did on Monday, I think it was, where I said that they have set a legitimate expectation. No, that is a law-oriented sort of vocabulary word or jargon. Legitimate expectation, meaning that what is expected is that as they progress through the partnership or they're working together collaboratively, this is what will be expected because it has taken place before, and whatever follows, this is the structure, this is the blueprint that is being followed going forward. So the legitimate expectation is that he is the head coach, and they informed him. Sadly, I cannot find the reports because it's been a year now. I can't find the report where people like Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, Ben Jacobs, Nick Zarkansel, all the people that are reporting on Chelsea. They said that they have informed him that don't worry about recruitment, don't worry about all of that. We will deal with that. The only thing that you need to worry about is on the pitch business. Deal with the players that you have at your exposure and at your disposal, so that you can, do what you need to do. Let us know if you need any player profile, not what player you want, the player profile. So that is where it gets blurred, where they gave him a managerial part to play, where okay, if you want certain profile, then tell us. That's not what a head coach should do. A head coach should deal with the tactical part about it, not about the recruitment. So that's why I think at the same time they're slightly blamed for that, because they gave him that sort of belief that, okay, you have the right to tell us that you want this or you don't want that. But there's nothing to say that they must listen to him because he's the head coach. That is what the sporting directors are for. The co-sporting directors are there to deal with scouting or setting up scouts or looking at these players that they could potentially sign, the profile of players that they can be signed. So he has no ground to stand on because it is not in his job description that he is the manager that deals with the recruitment and other things. He's the head coach, the coach of the team, the men's team, not the manager who deals with everything. So that is why I'm not going to give sympathy to him. I'm seeing people online, the big accounts on social media, whether it's X, Instagram, YouTube, saying that, oh, the owners should be careful because they're losing a good manager. I said this in that video on Monday. He is indeed a good manager. I cannot take that away from him. He is a very good manager because he won against managers, and that is managers that you think would on paper are better than him. So you must be good because you beat them. The Club World Cup PSG, Luis Enrique is a highly respected coach. Luis Enrique is a highly respected coach. So he won against a top coach like him. Arne Slot, always debatable. He won against him as well. He went up against Arteta, against one of the best, if not the best team currently in Europe, in Arsenal. And with 10 men, he was able to get at least a draw. Although they bottled it because they took the lead and they ended up conceding to Arsenal. So I'm 50-50 on that. But that's, by the way, that's the least of the point that I'm making. My point about this is that, and this is why I mentioned about beating those coaches. And this is one thing that got me thinking. I did a stream earlier speaking about this whole dilemma, this whole shebang, this whole situation where, Maresca is believing that, oh, because I've done this, I can be. No. That is where you are being misguided and you're being misled by your own mind because you are not the manager. So you don't have any ground to stand on. You don't have any authority. You don't have any responsibility that has the shape of being responsible for the recruitment. You can give suggestions because, as I said, the lines do get blurred at times, and of course head coaches can say, okay, I want this type of player, but no. And I'm going to give you an example before I go into this key thing, the untold Maresca versus Chelsea story, the Chelsea owners story, because this is important. Let's look at the likes of a Pep Guardiola. People will say Pep Guardiola is a manager and that he says, I want this player, I want that player. But they have an understanding. The Man City regime, they have an understanding of what he is looking for. They got him Erling Haaland, fantastic. Maybe he wanted Erling Haaland, maybe he didn't. Who knows? They got Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez had to leave because Erling Haaland was going to have to start. You pay money for him, you have to start him. He can't be on the bench. Long story short, we know that story about Julian Alvarez having to go to Atletico Madrid. But that's not what I'm focusing on. Look at Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool. Liverpool is a perfect example of what a head coach is. Jurgen Klopp would have asked for certain players. He didn't get them. He got the likes of a Sadio Mane. He got the likes of a Philippe Coutinho. He got the likes of a Mo Salah. That is what he got. So he asked for the likes of, what's that guy's name now? That German player that won the game for them. I can't remember his name, and I'm going to try to remember it. But that player that ended up winning the World Cup for Germany in 2014. That doesn't really matter. I don't remember his name right now, but essentially he asked for those profiles. He didn't get those specific players, but he got the profiles. And as I said in my tweet that I shared with you guys, I'm not disputing that we couldn't have gotten a player into or kept a player in that defensive aspect so that we don't have to depend on a Tosin Adebayo with a body of shield, both players who have a bozo gene in them, and Chalaba who has a bozo gene in him as well, but can be more physical, who can get the dirty work done. But my problem with what Maresca is doing now, and this is where I get to the juicy part, because this stream is a two-part stream. It's about speaking about the whole thing of Lavia and Mainoo and Adam Wharton as well. So you're gonna hear that part. I'm looking at the time to see how many minutes I have gone discussing this already. And then I'll go into that other aspect. 2 people watching right now. We can get one more like. Surely we can get another like. Please do so. And if you are new, do subscribe. This is a very late stream. I'm kind of tired myself, but I'm just gonna try to get this done and dusted. Anyways, as I said, the responsibility of the head coach is that to deal with the tactical part, developing players. That is what his role entails. Not to be to deal with recruitment and all that. But this is where I have a problem now. Now, I mentioned the fact that he's defeated some top managers. He's gone up against some good managers, league winners, Champions League winner. People who are competing for the league and just about missing out on it in Arsenal. And this is where have to think about this variation. This is a key variable as well. Consider the fact that, and I'm gonna imagine this, picture this. So Enzo Maresca about 3 weeks ago defeated Barcelona. Just an example. Maybe it wasn't 3 weeks ago, but just giving a timeline. He defeated Barcelona, a 10-man Barcelona, the plated Barcelona that had limited midfielders. Pedri wasn't available. But as I said in my video on Monday, it's not his fault that those players weren't available. So I'm not going to take that credit away from him. He did that. Fantastic. He won against 10-man Barcelona. But this is where it comes interesting. Look at the timeline. So we beat Barcelona and we drew with Arsenal. Perfect. Look at that. The beautiful narrative. Imagine this, picture this. We know that for months now, I think for over a year, it has been said that Pep Guardiola wants to leave City. So imagine this. He's done that. Of course, he's beaten PSG. Before that, early in the season, he won against Liverpool when they were going down that spell of losing to earlier, facing off against back-to-back. So you have the owners who according to reports, have a good relationship with his agent, Jorge Mendes, the Portuguese agent, who also presents players that Chelsea have signed and have at their club as well. Imagine this. So, Man City, of course, have a good relationship with him. As I said, development squad coach. He was the assistant coach at City not long ago. So, of course, the relationship is still going to be there. No ill will because he went to do managing at Leicester City for himself. And he spent 2 good years at least there with them. All right, let me see this. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Blue Line Chelsea. Much respect to you. So, Blue Line Chelsea brought up this. It says, after the Pochettino situation, the club made it clear to Maresca, this is from David Ornstein on July 15, 2024, that his role would be as a head coach operating within a strict sporting structure set out by the board. Ornstein, the 15th of the 7th, 2024. Thank you very much for sharing that. You're a lifesaver. Now I have some ground to stand on as well. Unlike Maresca in terms of as a manager, because he has none. He's a head coach. Thank you. But back to this. So imagine this. I'm painting the picture for you. So Man City said that, okay, we know that perhaps if Pep Guardiola is going to call it quits, and Pep Guardiola has never shied away from saying that Maresca is a good manager, he's a top manager. And of course, we know that he's played mind games to trust the process, trust it. And speaking about trust the process, that's why I want to mention what Maresca said in his first interview. Not his second, his first interview after being unveiled in July of 2024. He said, trust the process. It's going to be it's a long journey. Trust the process. The fans are not used to trusting the process, but we have to trust the process. He said all that. Anyways, but I'm painting the picture. So City say, okay, we have a wonderful relationship with, probably wonderful is a hyperbole, but we have a relationship with Maresca already. He was at the club. He was in our ecosystem as a development squad coach. So why not go for him? He's won trophies already, so he shows that he can win trophies. Why not go for Maresca? And of course, Pep Guardiola has done so much for them. He's been there with them for so many years. So, of course, he's been there for 12 years? Thereabout, or almost 12 years. So he said, "Okay, you've won everything for us. You've won the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League, the Super Cup, and the Club World Cup. They won that as well, I believe. So, they won everything that they can win in terms of at the highest level. They haven't won the Europa League because that's below them because they've never needed to qualify or compete in the Europa League. So they're not going to win the Europa League or the Conference League, unlike Chelsea, because Chelsea got demoted or Chelsea they downgraded in performance and quality, so they would have been placed in the Europa League or respectively the Conference League. So of course that happened. So they're not going to have that luxury. So Pep Guardiola is going to be say, okay, I will be a part, and we saw reports saying that at the end of the day, when Pep Guardiola, and I'll probably share these tweets, I'm going to find it very soon. Pep Guardiola will be a part of the selection process of his successor. So Pep will be a part of selecting. So I'm going to see if I can find that, because it's very important that I don't just say things. I also have the proof that this is the truth, that I'm not making it up. All right, so I'm going to try to find it. But essentially, I'm saying, so Pep Guardiola has never shied away. He said that Maresca is a very good manager. He loves Maresca. He said that. I'm not putting that in his word. I'm not just the one saying, but that's what's being said. Okay, here it is. Perfect. So I found this perfectly. So Fabrizio Romano said this. Enzo Maresca used to work for Man City, and the appreciation has always been there. If one day when Pep does leave, he will be involved in turning to suggest his replacement. So let's say this. I'm painting a picture. So he has decided that, okay, you know what? I know Maresca. Maresca worked here as an assistant with me. Maresca was the development squad coach. So we have a relationship. We have an appreciation for Maresca, because Maresca caused a disruption in what Chelsea were doing in terms of winning the PL2, and he won the PL2 that 1 year. Worked with Liam Delap, Cole Palmer, the likes of a Lavia, etc. He has a relationship with those people. Perfect. So that's the case. No, because he has that past, they say, okay, you know what? We're really impressed with what we're seeing from Maresca. Maresca has won the Club World Cup against PSG, tactically outclassed Luis Enrique. You have the likes of a Barcelona, Hansi Flick, very top manager. He was at Germany. He worked with the German coach at that time in 2014. He was the assistant coach for them in 2014. All of that jazz. He won against him as well. Arne Slot, the Premier League manager, the winner of the Premier League with Liverpool, the manager, the successor, the head coach, the successor of Klopp, although it was Klopp's team as well. But he won against him. And not only this season, but last season, when they won the league 3-1, I believe it was, was it 3-1 or was it? I don't remember. But essentially, we won against them last season. After they won the league, we faced them and we won against them. And then, of course, this season already, Chelsea have defeated the likes of Liverpool as well. So, yeah, and then City, it was a case where we lost to City, but we also had a good result against them, where we just about lost them in the first game of the season last year. So, as I said, painting the picture, so Pep Guardiola, says, oh yeah, I believe so. If I decide to leave, get Maresca. Maresca is the best successor. He worked with me closely. His system, his philosophy would be similar to mine, inverted fullbacks, all of that. So he's a perfect fit. I know a lot of City fans would prefer Kompany, and I believe Kompany is a very good option as well. They play very similarly as well. Bayern Munich play very similar, high pressing, quick movement, one-touch passing, inversion, vertical, playing on the ball up, see, at certain intervals. It makes sense, I think, and that's why it's not a case where they say Maresca is the replacement. They're saying he's high on the list as the replacement if Pep Guardiola, I should say, decides to leave in the summer next year. So all of that, so painting the picture. So because of that, we know that we play against Leeds United. So the conversation started to begin, and we lose Leeds United. They will lose to Atalanta, but we drew with Bournemouth before that. They will lose to Atalanta, and then of course the Everton game. Now we hear the conversation. Maybe the conversation took place with the likes of Maresca and the club, Manchester City, of course. And Maresca says, he says to the owners, the sporting director, because he has to answer to them. He answers to them. They don't answer to him. He says, Chelsea, I have a lot of respect for you. We've won things already. I would try to do the accent, but I don't want to be disrespectful. But he says, City are telling me that they want me to come back as a replacement for Pep Guardiola. And he wants to hear that. He wants to hear them say that no. We value you. And of course they're going to say that yes, I believe that you are very good, and we can understand why they would want you. But remember that we have you on a long-term deal. The contract is 5 years with, I believe, with a year with an option for another year, or it could be 4 years with 1 year with an option for 1 year. I think it's 5 years with an option for another additional year. So that's the case. So that is very key to remember. It's very important to remember that. So that is the first thing that I want to mention as well. So the next thing is this. Because of that, he comes out and says after beating Everton, he said it's been the worst 48 hours for me and the players, because the players, of course, probably even know about this. This is hypothetical speaking, I know, and I don't like to speak about hypothetical things. But imagine, that is why he said that it's been the worst 48 hours. He loves the players. It was not to that. He sent a message that he has not been supported because he wanted this. And we've heard David Oitina said that he's known about the links for a while now. So it's not a case of it's just out of nowhere, like, today, or for some people on Thursday, the news just came out of nowhere. It's been something that he has known. If we can believe David Oitina to be telling the truth, that he's known for a while. So it's a case where maybe Maresca was basically informed by his agent, Jorge Mendes, who has a good relationship with Man City. The Sporting and the City connection, they have a close-knitted connection, a close-knitted relationship, just like with Chelsea and the Blue Coat. The only difference is that, of course, it's not as tight-knitted as it is with Sporting Lisbon and Man City. So, of course, that is the case. So we know that the links have been exposed today, and it follows a cycle of what has happened so far this week, where Maresca has apparently said that he feels like they don't value him. And of course, if a City are saying, I appreciate you, we appreciate you, he's gonna say that, okay. And I'm gonna use two analogies now. So the first analogy, because if people know me, they know that I love to use the examples of relationship. So this is the case. So you all right, let's say Maresca is in a relationship with Chelsea, which he is. But let's say that in a different context, Maresca is a female and Chelsea is the male that she's involved with. And as a result, everything's working perfectly fine. You guys have been together for a year now, and because some other male comes into the picture and they say, you know what, I believe and I appreciate you more than your current partner, who you're involved with, does. And we've always appreciated it. Or maybe let me add this context, because Man City has a history with Maresca. So let me add this component. Let me just revise the analogy slightly. So let's say, for example, you were not so he was not the head coach of City. Let's say that, all right, City and Maresca are friends. Like, so Man City is a male, Maresca is the female. This is a bad analogy in terms of male and female. But let's say, so they're friends, and they have a history together. They were very close. They're friends. Their friends are very close. And there's a lot of appreciation from that male being Man City. And of course, Man City didn't have the need to really go for Maresca as their coach. So therefore, in this case, the male with City are involved with another female, but they're friends. Basically, Maresca and City are friends, and they're close friends. They're just friends. And because of that, the relationship is starting to get sour. The relationship you feel like it's coming to an end. Of course, Pep Guardiola is the other female in this analogy. It's a very long analogy, I know. I didn't really think it through, but essentially, I hope you can understand where I'm going with this. So, because of this, it's a case where Man City said that, all right, fine. I have a history with Maresca, or the male is saying I have a history with this female. We never got to that point where he was exclusively, or we were exclusively involved at the highest level. It was a case where we were involved, but it was at a minor level. And minor level in this case is friendship. So, all right, so Pep Guardiola is, you feel like Pep Guardiola is going to be leaving soon, or the relationship is going to end soon between Pep Guardiola, which is the female in this analogy. So you say that, all right, fine. I know the traits, the characteristics, the personality of Maresca or this female because we're friends, we were involved before. But of course, because of the fact that another male stepped up and tried to court and succeeded at courting Maresca or the female, you realize that, okay, you know what? No, considering the fact that this relationship is not going to last, let's go back to a friend that we know so well, we have appreciation for. And because of that, this is where the storyline of Chelsea and Maresca come now. So let's see, Maresca and Chelsea relationship. There's a partnership here. They're working head coach and the club respectively. So because of that, everything is working perfectly fine. You've gone through certain achievements. You've just hit the 1 year mark together, and everything's working okay. It could be better. Of course, you have disagreements. You don't agree on everything, but because of the fact that things are going so perfectly, you guys are doing so well together, you say that, all right, fine, I have no need to. And this is the case with a lot of relationships. Things are going perfectly fine, and it just takes one person doing anything, and then it gets that one part of the thing that, okay, can this person be doing this? And you start to compare and say that, oh, but City's telling me they appreciate me. The owners are not telling me that they appreciate me in the way that City are probably doing it. So he's like, okay, I want them to be affirming me that they trust me, because that's what we're seeing. Later or earlier in the week, we saw him say that he always feels like they don't trust him. And City are saying that we trust you. We believe that you are worth it. I believe that because we were involved with somebody else, we couldn't give it a try. So now that this relationship is coming to the final stage, or it's on the way to its conclusion, we are coming back to say that we want you to be with us. So because of that, Maresca is starting to realize that, okay, it's been the worst 48 hours for him, and all of that, because it's a case where they probably had a disagreement. And of course, we saw reports, which I cannot find, I didn't get to bookmark them, where we're hearing that the relationship has fallen apart slightly. So it was okay before, or it was satisfactory. We won a trophy, won 2 trophies, the Conference League, the Club World Cup, respectively. But because City have given you a sweet talk to you, like, man, I wish the club I'm at would say these things to me, they would affirm me. And because of that, that's the situation that we find ourselves in. I hope you guys understand the analogy. The next analogy, quickly, because I want to go into the next aspect, which is about the Lavia and the Mainoo and the Wharton. I'm going to run off this section. I'm going to change the background and everything. So the next analogy, and this is a good friend of mine, the whole working thing and the business aspect. So you work for an organization, and you have a past with another organization. Maybe you have an aspiration that you work there. Maybe you work there as an intern. Yeah, I think that's a perfect analogy, perfect role to use. You are an intern there, or you were working there as a summer worker, and it wasn't anything, no strings attached, just a short-term sort of arrangement, and you worked there for just a brief time. But you left after you worked there for the summer, or you worked there for a year on a short internship in what's the word? Internship. I can't speak, man. You say, all right, you know what? Okay, they have a lot of appreciation for you. Maybe you left because you just wanted a new experience. You've gotten that experience now, and then another that organization that you have a past which say that, you know what, we can offer you something differently. We have a ready-made squad. We have a squad that is also young, but we also have experience in the squad that we're keeping to keep it experience oriented as well. So we have people that you know this, and of course the person that is going to be leaving, either they're retiring or whatever, says, okay, we know that this person worked with me side by side. They were my understudy. They didn't work at the same level as me, but they were my understudy. They worked with me. They would tell me their ideas. So I believe that they're the perfect option. So you are working perfectly fine with that organization that you're at. You have no complaint. The pay is okay, but another organization that you have a past which is that, okay, you know what? We value you, we appreciate you, and we can pay even more money. But of course, you've already put pen to paper just last year that you'll be here for at least, if everything goes well, if there's no disagreement, if you don't underperform in the role that they've presented you with, you will be here for at least 5 years with an option of another year, which can be considered probably the last 2 years of that contract or agreement that you have. So maybe you didn't have any thoughts, but because that company has reached out to you, you start to compare and say that, I remember when I was here, I felt so valued, I felt so loved. We won the Champions League. Of course, we usually go back to the context of football. And you realize that, okay, I'm comparing and I'm saying, but Chelsea, these owners don't treat me like how these owners treat me. And I have a good relationship with these owners. We didn't leave on any sour, sort of situation. I just left to get experience elsewhere because I wanted to be the I don't want to be the understudy anymore. I want to be the face of that role. So I want to leave, but I it's not from any bitter place. It's just a case of I just want to get my own experience, be the top of that role. So because of that, that's the case. So because we see that this is a situation that is my theory, and that is why I think that Maresca is open to leaving Chelsea, and I don't think Maresca is going to stay past the season. I don't see Maresca staying at Chelsea past this summer. So I believe Maresca is going to be at Chelsea until the end of the summer if things don't go south. Until the summer 2026, I think May 2026, after the season concludes, last 38 game, that he will be leaving, and then he'll be, if Pep Guardiola ends up leaving, which I think he's going to leave next year. I mean, that's why I think that they're going to win the league. That's my prediction from the very beginning. I've been saying I think City is going to win the league, not because I hate Arsenal, but I just think that City have shown for years after years that they have a slow start, and in the end they always find a way to get the job done at the end of the season. So I believe that they will. And I want that to be the case because I want, when Maresca ends up going to City, which I think is going to be the case. I don't know anything. I'm not in Maresca's mind. I'm not in the mind of the City, the regime and the owner. So I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. And that's not to be cocky or anything. I just don't think. It just seems like it's written in the stars that he's going to go to City. He has the best relationship with them there. If anything, best decision to go there than anywhere else. So I think he's going to go there next year. Simple as that. But I want Pep Guardiola to go out winning the league so that when he goes there, it's not a case of, we didn't win the league. So the pressure won't be there to retain the league. It's going to be a case of let's go back there and let's Guardiola give you time. But if Pep Guardiola wins the league, and plus Pep Guardiola, the pressure is Pep Guardiola. So the pressure is going to be there for him to deliver. But if he doesn't win the league, the pressure will not be that high to say that you must retain the league. Because if you didn't win it, of course, you can't retain what you didn't have before. So, of course, it can be retained. You're going to be getting back there. So, give him the long-term deal. He will probably be the new Pep 2.0. He already has a haircut. No disrespect. The only thing is that it's different religion. Not religion. Different nationality. I don't know why I said religion. Nationality. So, that's my theory about that part. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I know it's a very late stream, and I know that most of my audience is in the UK, so probably most people are asleep. But thank you to the one person that is watching right now. This is a very spontaneous stream, so I'm not surprised that not many people are here. But that is for this sport. No, let me change the background and let me change the whole essence of it. Actually, you know what? I forgot to do this. Let me quickly do this. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to the Maresca, you know, first interview, what he said in his first interview, and then after that, we can go into speaking about Kobbie Mainoo and also Adam Wharton, one of the two options that Chelsea could be looking to send the other way in a potential swap deal with the likes of Romeo Lavia going the other way. So I'm going to share this tab instead, um, and I'm going to see what we can do here. So I'm going to go to the bookmark of this thing, but as you guys can see, this is the first interview, Enzo Maresca, and the first question is, "Welcome to Chelsea, Enzo. How does it feel to have joined the club?" And this is what Maresca said: "I'm very happy and excited. It will be a fantastic journey, and I'm excited to get started as soon as possible with the players as soon as possible." So, and then the question was, "How has your first week been?" He said it has been quite busy, and that's normal at the beginning. That's always the same. You're trying to get to know all the people around the training ground and some of the players who are already in, but the feeling is fantastic. That's what he said. Now, here it is. You mentioned the players. It is a squad full of talent. How much are you looking forward to work with the group? He said, "I'm very excited. One of the reasons I'm here is because I'm convinced the squad is very good and full of talent. Interesting. The most important thing now is that we're able to create the right culture that drives us for the season." Of course, they did develop a culture that meant them winning the Conference League and the Club World Cup in the summer. So I always say the same. If you're able to improve players, then you're able to improve the team. So it's our target to try to improve all of them day by day. I know you say you enjoyed great success last season with Leicester City, playing with a particular approach. How important is that to you? And then he said, "I think every manager has their own style or idea. Mine is quite clear. Last year was very good, but that is finished. It is a new chapter, a new squad, and a youth club. I'm very happy to be here." That's what he said. I'm not putting those words in his mouth. That's what he says here. No, he also had to handle the pressure and expectation of winning at Leicester. How important is that experience coming into a club like Chelsea? So he said it's the main point because when you join a club like Chelsea, you know that it's a club that has to win. So for us, we're going to try our best to be there to fight and compete with the clubs that is in this moment are winning and fighting to win titles. Then he said, "Throughout your career as a player, you worked with several renowned coaches. Did that help to shape you as a coach?" And then he said this: "Absolutely. As you say, I played under Carlo Ancelotti, Marcelo Lippi, Manuel Pellegrini. All of them are very important managers. We all try to make things and then we create our own box with all these things inside. It's what I try to do since I started thinking about being a manager. Which you're not a manager, you're a head coach, sir." Chelsea has a great history with Italian players and coaches, and he continued that legacy by winning 2 trophies as well. What are your feelings adding to that? He said, "One of the reasons for sure I joined was because of the rich history." So basically, go down here. And of course, he spoke about building a good relationship with his supporters. Um, and that's that. And then we see the about that aspect, yada yada yada. And then he says the final message to the supporters is just trust the process, trust the idea, be behind the team. For sure, we're going to enjoy the journey. Like at every club or for every manager, it will not be easy because nothing is easy, but for sure, we're going to enjoy the journey. So that is what he said. So thank you guys very much for listening to that part. Now let's go over to discussing the next component, which is about the Kobbie Mainoo and the Adam Wharton links. The report stating that Chelsea are placing down the groundwork for a midfield signing in 2026. So let's see what we can do there. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere as we will take the short intermission as I try to transition over to this new window. Thank you very much. Alrighty, so we're back in business. Now, as you guys would have seen in the title, the next key story that we must discuss is Chelsea already laying the groundwork for a midfield signing in 2026 with Kobbie Mainoo from Manchester United, of course, and Adam Wharton, both mentioned as potential profiles under consideration. Now, the Blues are keen to ease the workload on Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, but are not expected to be overly active in January. However, which is very important here, says midfield reinforcement is expected to be a major focus of Chelsea's long-term planning. And of course, you can see the two English national players, Adam Wharton on the left-hand side and Kobbie Mainoo on the right-hand side. So Crystal Palace is Adam Wharton, of course, Manchester United, Kobbie Mainoo, of course, is right there. So that is the report that we saw here. Now, there's one about a potential swap for Romeo Lavia, which is what I wanted to discuss per se. So let me just remove this from here so you guys can just see me for the time being as I look for that specific article that spoke about a potential swap. So Romeo Lavia, and of course we have Adam Wharton and Mainoo was one there. So let me find that article because I'm not making this up. It actually was there. It's very much there. I'm not making this up at all. Yeah, I'm not going to make that up. So it's here. All right. So I have found some thing here. Of course, there's also the likes of Anderson from Nottingham Forest that is also being considered. Um, so okay, so I'm trying to find it. I'm not seeing it where it mentions Romeo Lavia, but that's by the way that's this the problem. We the most important thing is that has been said. All right, so this is another thing. Just show CFC says that um okay, I'm not sharing the screen. So it says here that Romeo Lavia is is a case where Maresca still doesn't know when Romeo Lavia will return from injury, but Darius Ugo is believed to be close to a comeback. Liam Delap remains out until 2026 as well. So that is another thing that we must consider as well. So that being said, now that we know that that is the component, I want to mention something. I'm going to mention some things. And as I said, this is not going to be a necessarily long stream. We're going to hit the 1 hour mark. I don't want this to be longer than potentially 90 minutes. So I'm going to, of course, I don't know why I clicked that. That's what I meant to do. Jesus. I don't know. Why am I doing it on that? That's not what I want to do. Okay, perfect. So this is what I want to do. Um, so the question is, would to apologize, man. I must apologize. I lost connection. I don't know. I don't know what happened, man. But my laptop disconnected, but my phone is still connected to the internet, so I don't understand. Anyways, um, where was I even at? I've lost my train of thought. So is Kobbie Mainoo a good profile? Should Chelsea be looking to go for Kobbie Mainoo? Will Kobbie Mainoo suit the likes of a Chelsea? That that's a key question. And my question is, I like the profile of player that he is. I must say, I like the player, like the type of profile that he is. Um, Kobbie Mainoo has been classified as a very top-notch player. Of course, we know that these links are not new. We also heard of these links when, of course, when Chelsea were of course looking to sign Alejandro Garnacho. We heard that that was one of the deals that was supposedly going to happen. Of course, in the end, it ended up being a case where rather than signing Kobbie Mainoo, Chelsea ended up signing Alejandro Garnacho instead. So we know it's no secret that Chelsea have had reported interest in Kobbie Mainoo, and I think Kobbie Mainoo is a very good player that could be a key understudy to the likes of the Moses Caicedo. Darren Lugo is looked at as an understudy, but of course we need competition. Romeo Lavia could be out the door as well because we heard that he could be for sale as well. So of course, not surprising at all. Not surprising at all. I'd have to say that, to be fair. The whole thing is, it's not surprising. He's a very good player. I think he's at a club like United who, he's really struggling, or he was at a club like United who, you know, really struggles quite a lot. But when I think about it, would he suit? I would say that he could suit Chelsea because, quite frankly, in terms of his dribbling, very good. I know that Maresca will love. Of course, but this is talking if Maresca does indeed stay beyond the summer, which I don't think will happen, sadly. Um, he has excellent dribbling. He has very good composure on the ball, which is very important for any player. He has good progressive passing, and we know that under Maresca's tactics. And of course, any manager would, or head coach, I use the word head coach, any head coach that would replace Maresca should he leave, which I expect, they're going to want a manager or a head coach who follows that same blueprint. High composure on the ball needed in the midfield, progressive passing, key game intelligence, which I think Kobbie Mainoo has shown that he has at Manchester United. And of course, he excels in controlling the tempo. So you get the best of both worlds. So it's not just the likes of Enzo Fernandez, which people really give a lot of credit for doing that. That would be tasked with doing that, but it also would be Kobbie Mainoo because that is a key part of his game. He's made that be a key part of what he's known for. And because of that component, I think he would suit Chelsea. Now, he's not the most dynamic or pacey box-to-box player, so that's going to be a downside. And it doesn't really fit into a high-pressing 3-4-3. So that is where it could be difficult. But under Maresca, we know that Chelsea play a 4-2-3-1, or of course a 3-2-5 in build-up, where you have Kukurea who may drop deep, or it could be a case where Augusto drops deep, and James is in that midfield, and then we have Enzo Fernandez pushed up at the 10 with more guys being supported by Reece James, and in some instances against the likes of I believe it was at Burnley, we saw Reece James and Andrew Santos, or whatever the case may be, whatever the formation was, or the selection was, we saw that. But the question is, would he be able to play with Moses Caicedo or alongside him in a double pivot 100%, without Enzo Fernandez 100%, because he can control the tempo, will give the freedom to Enzo Fernandez, will give the freedom to Moses Caicedo, who can be an offensive threat as well. So 100% is a very good option there. And of course, with the likes of an Adam Wharton now, will he suit Chelsea? I think he would definitely same attributes in terms of can control, this emphasis on controlling the game under Maresca. If they get another manager who's similar to Maresca, one of the key philosophies is emphasis on controlling the game. So I think Adam Wharton, who is very much a very good midfielder, I think even he would be able to suit it. So yeah, I think so. Cause he would definitely suit it tactically because of course he can play as a deep line playmaker. I got mixed up there, or defensive midfielder, and he can probably play as a number 6 because he does that for Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace is doing very good this season, so very good option to get a player that is actually doing well this season as well. They're playing European competition as well, so of course, it's not like he has no experience in Europe. He has some experience in Europe in the B-tier competition, of course, of UEFA. And of course, he does do a less explosive dribbling, but of course, in terms of control and everything, he's very good. He fits that profile of what people call a Spanish controller. Of course, he's of course not. He's an England international, but of course, you will say that. And of course, he played a very key role in Crystal Palace winning the 2025 FA Cup. So why not? Definitely would fit into it. So he suits the double pivot structure as well. Moses Caicedo and Wharton would be delicious to watch. Fernandez as well has that freedom, no defensive responsibility on him, so he would not have to worry about that aspect of the playing aspect. So I believe Chelsea's actual targeting of him is a very good decision. Any option that Chelsea end up getting would be very good for them in terms of fitting that young, blueprint and young strategy of signing players. So I think it's very sensible. It's a very logical decision to make as well. So 100%, it's a very good option. But would I want to see Romeo Lavia leave? That's the question. No, I think we've not seen the best of him. I think it's a case where it's like with the likes of Wesley Fofana, where we know that the potential is there, we know that the quality is there with Lavia, but we just don't see it quite a lot, which is the sad part about it. But it's about how long Chelsea want to be patient with him. He's been at Chelsea since I believe 2023. So of course they're going to say that we want to be able to see our investment pay off. And of course, he's not as expensive as they pay for Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. So they can say that, okay, fine. Even if they have to take a loss, which nobody wants to take a loss, even as a businessman or business people. But if they have to, Romeo Lavia will be the best option for them to take a loss on. And they probably wouldn't be because he is a lot of teams would be fascinated to sign him as well. So I don't think it'd be a loss. I wouldn't want to see him go because I really do believe that he can be successful at Chelsea. But we just haven't seen that, sadly. And it's unfortunate, really is unfortunate because the potential, as I said, is there, but it's just never available. And I always say the best ability is availability. And if you're not available, then it makes no sense you have any other ability or attribute. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I think about that. And, as I said, thank you to Blue Line Chelsea for gifting that membership. It really made my night. Thank you very much. I don't know who got the membership. I'll have to check to see who got it on YouTube after the fact. But thank you very much, Blue Line Chelsea, for that gifted membership. Really appreciate you showing support to the stream, showing support to the channel constantly. And thank you to everybody else who was watching before. As I said, I know that when I recorded this stream initially, it's very late at night. People have work, but of course, when this goes on a rebroadcast again, people will be seeing this earlier. So probably when they're going to work, probably when they are having their lunch break, they'll watch it. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the Blue Line Shows, as I said before, for tuning in. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers, up the shows, and we play Newcastle very soon. So hopefully get the win there. Cheers and peace. I will see you guys next time. Stay safe and come on in blues, as I've said. Cheers.